Alright all, and welcome back to a new video and the Day 3 final selections for the Cheltenham Festival 2021. I'm recording this bang after racing on Wednesday, so hopefully it'll be up as quickly as possible. It's currently 5:15. We've just concluded the bumper. Fantastic ride from Rachel Blackmore, and just, I suppose, a little bit of a summation of what's happened so far. It's gone quite well. Look, at the end of the week, no matter what happens, I'll do a video looking through each bet, how it went, how the week went for myself personally. At the moment, it's looking to be going okay. Black Tears won at 33-1 yesterday, which was absolutely super in the Mare's Hurdle. That will, stand to me for the majority of the week. Today was a little bit hit and miss, to be honest. I was glad in the end. I bit the bullet and just backed Bob Bollinger, as I said in my final selections video. I just couldn't get away from him as being the better Irish horse, and I'm glad I did, because it saved, I suppose, the money on Brave Man's Game. Then Monkfish, he was a winner, but was he a winner? No, he wasn't really. Unfortunately, Chacun Pour Soi was disappointing and a bit deflating, I must confess. Look, I'll cover that all in the review, but I'm keeping the faith. I still think he's the best horse in the race. Maybe Cheltenham isn't his track. Fair enough, that might be the case, but I still think he's probably the most talented horse in the race. But fair dues to Put the Kettle On. I was humming and hawing whether to back her each way. I have been mentioning it quite a bit about her. Didn't end up going for it. A bit of egg on the face in the end, but these things happen. But some neck, and Alpha Days Oboe ran crackers in the cross country, especially Alpha Days Oboe, rolling back the years to come fourth in a 4-place race. Happy days with that. Grand Annual was a bit of a was less said the better, and then, as I say, Sir Gerhard and Rachel kind of saved me in the last, making sure that day 2 wasn't too much of a bloodbath. But moving on to day 3, as I say, I'll go through every single bet in a review video next week. Starting with the Marsh Novices Chase, what do I tell you? Envoi, I suspect, wins this race. He's 1-2. Look, he's going to go up as a selection. I'm not really going to back him at 1-2, to be honest, but he is going to be a selection. He will be in the P&L as a result, win or lose. But as Monkfish showed you just today, it isn't just quite as easy as these horses just turning up and winning. Monkfish was a little bit hairy today, but I am going to play something in this race, and I never thought I would. Against Envoi, but I'm going to play one each way, just at the prices at 25-1, 3 places obviously because it's an 8-runner race. I'm going to play Asterion Forlonge, and I know a few of you guys will be there, knocking your head off brick walls, thinking, what on earth's your man talking about? I just can't have. Look, Asterion Forlonge, he's been a chancy jumper. He does jump out to his right a little bit, although he didn't really at Leopardstown last time in the flow gas. But I can't have him being a £6 inferior horse to Chatham Street Lad and being 15 points bigger than him in the betting. I can't have that for a second. Paul Townend on board. It wouldn't surprise me, with the way Willie Mullins is, that somehow this horse suddenly puts in a good round of jumping around Cheltenham and may run well. I think 25-1, as I say, it's just too big at a price. I know you think I've probably lost my kahunas. Perhaps I have, but it will be Asterion Forlonge each way with, obviously, Envoi, and hopefully Envoi does go and get the job done. The Pertemps is the same as it was in the handicap video. I put up Imperial, Alcazar and Mrs. Milner. Imperial Alcazar at 6-1, Mrs. Milner at 25-1. Both of those were 5 places. I think if you can look around now, you can probably find bookies that are doing 6 places or maybe even 7 on the Pertemps. But Mrs. Milner's now 14-1. Imperial Alcazar, I think, is now 5-1, 11-2. So not much of a difference in them. But those two will be my 2 against the field. I'm really quietly confident that Mrs. Milner might run a big race. And I know that's potentially a bit of Paul Nolan bias, but really hope she can run well. She's got a lovely racing weight. Brian Cooper on board. I think there's a lot going for her. The Ryanair, one of my long-term Ante-Post picks, Allaho. Finally, we get one that's running. Put him up at 12-1 back in September. That was an each-way bet. Obviously, the market at that time was only 3 places, so I'm only going to claim 3 places on Allaho. As I'm trying to be as honest as possible with these bets. I'm doing exactly what I've backed, so I've only got 3 places on Allaho each way. I think you can find 4 or 5 places now on the day. And also back in February time, I put up Samcro for the race at 20-1. 4 places. As I say, you can now get 5. and I think he's around 12 to 1 or something like that. I wouldn't put people off that. I think he could run a big race. But Allaho and Samcro for me. I know Rachel's on Allaho, but as we've seen today with the Sir Gerard Kilcruit thing even, it's not absolute gospel what Paul Townend rides with these Willie Mullins horses. He said Allaho was in great nick. He's 5 to 1 currently. I think he's got a cracking chance. Moving on to the stairs, obviously a big non-runner for me in this being Thyme Hill, which looked so good for so long at 16 to 1 for the stairs hurdle. Heartbreaking that was, but I did put up that video almost immediately the news broke, putting up Fury Road at 14 to 1 each way, 4 places, and that's been backed into 10 to 1, so maybe we got a hint of value. I think he's got a chance. And the other one I'm going to play in the race is Lisnagar Oscar at 11 to 1, 5 places. You can get 5 places with a number of bookmakers, and 11 to 1 I think is not a bad price. I just don't like some of the other horses in this. Paisley Park could well win. Would I back him at 15 to 8? Probably not. But would it surprise me if he won? Probably not as well. Cider Burley has never been for me all year, and I'm not going to change from that. Flooring Porter, likewise. Vindication, I can't see it really. And then you get down to the likes of Fury Road and Lisnagar Oscar, and I'll play those two against the field. The Paddy Power Plate, I know it's a bit of a boring selection, but I did say I'd back the Shunter wherever he went, and he's 9 to 2 for this race. I'm going to have to back him on the nose at that price, which is a bit ballsy, I suppose, in a handicap, but I think he's got a massive chance. Jordan Gainford takes the ride, taking a very valuable £7 off his back. And also, I put up in the handicap preview Fee Dudery at 10 to 1, 5 places, and you can still get 10 to 1, 5 places about Fee Dudery. So best of luck with him. I think he's got a decent chance. Joseph's horses have been a bit hit and miss this year, or this year actually altogether, and also this week so far. And Tukas ran a big race, but obviously Embittered came down, and Us and Them didn't run great, and Cascon Risk didn't run great, so hard to know. But I think he has a chance based off some of his novice form. He's an unexposed horse, could run well. Mare's Novices Hurdle, again, not differing from my day 3 preview back in February for this race, where I put up 2. I put up Royal Kahala at 7 to 1 each way, 4 places, and both of these picks are 4 places. And I also put up Glens of Antrim at a mighty 33 to 1, and she's currently 15 to 2. She's my nap of the week, Glens of Antrim, each way, that is. But look, if she goes and does it, hopefully she can. Look, it's not going to be the end of the world if she doesn't. John Joe O'Neill Jr.'s on her. I was really quite hopeful that Rosie's Hollow wouldn't run in the race. She is running in the race. I wouldn't put anyone off backing her. Wouldn't put off anyone backing Hook Up or Galway either, to be honest. I think it's an open race. But look, hopefully Glens of Antrim can run well. Being on at bigger prices does help, but I think she's got a decent chance at 8 to 1, and Royal Kahala's in there at 9 to 2, 5 to 1. So I'm kind of saving myself a little bit. Hopefully, if the nap can't go close, Royal Kahala can. I'd be disappointed if the two of them, if one of the two wasn't certainly banging the frame of the 4 places. The Kim Muir one that I put up in the handicap video, obviously we've had the tragedy of Run Wild Fred in this race, which really was a tragedy, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, we put up Shantou Flyer with him at 16 to 1. I think he's a reliable horse. Now, that was at 4 places, and I'm going to take 4 places on him at 16. He's currently around 10 to 1, but you can get 5. So up to you what... well, obviously, he's 10 to 1, I think, best price now, so you're going to have to take that. But you can shop around for 5 places. Look, he's got every chance of placing. Is he going to win? More than likely not. Being the way he's been the last couple of years, but he could run a big race for Harry Copton and Paul Nicholls. And I'm also going to add in Plan of Attack for Henry de Bromhead at 9 to 1, 5 places each way. I think he's got a good chance. He was third in the race last year. A couple of horses returning in this race, the likes of Bob Mahler, Kilfillan Cross and himself, all of whom have had pretty rubbishy form figures since then. But I'm hoping the return to this race may just stand Plan of Attack in good stead, and between himself and Shantou Flyer, hopefully we can have a decent enough performance. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and of course let me know your selections for the Thursday card down below. I really want to hear them. It's going to be a very interesting day, hopefully. So far, look, I'm ahead currently on the week. If I can get out of the last 2 days washing my face, hopefully I'll end up on the week, and we can review it in happy terms next next week anyway, when we review all the bets. But until then, hope you stay safe, stay well, and a few bets tomorrow. And I'll see you guys tomorrow evening for the Gold Cup final selections. And until then, best of luck.